everyone, it's time to have a look at Gauntlet, developed by Adventuresoft and published by US Gold in 1987. And it seems like US Gold skimped on the artwork for the cover and the ad. It's just a screenshot from the arcade version with some artwork from the, I think the side art or maybe the panel artwork from the arcade cab. And I think they quite often did this, try to save some money and not making custom art, as opposed to Ocean that often had Bob Wakelin make amazing artwork to try and sell games that maybe were a bit pants. But it looks perfectly fine, and I'm sure the game sold a lot of copies because this was, I think, well received on many of the home systems. And this is of course an arcade conversion based on Atari's classic 4-player game from 1985, which has seen numerous clones and rip-offs over the years. And I believe was hugely successful in the arcades thanks to the simultaneous 4-player mode. And it's also interesting to note that the arcade version didn't have any continues. When you inserted a credit into the machine, you would actually get more health. So that was a brilliant way of just making more money, especially given that this was a multiplayer game. Brilliant idea by Atari. And according to the wiki, the designer of the game is Ed Logg, but I also believe he was involved with the coding together with Bob Flanagan. And I also think that Flanagan was involved in the design of the game too, but the information is a bit unclear. And Ed Logg was involved in many other Atari games such as Super Breakout, Asteroids, Centipede and Millipede, Gauntlet 2, Cybots, and many other games. And Bob Flanagan was involved with Marble Madness, Gauntlet 2, Cybots, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Skull and Crossbones, the arcade version, and also many other games for Atari. And also worth noting is that the arcade version also had speech, which I think was pretty common by 1985. And as I believe I've already mentioned, the game was highly successful in the arcades. And is of course considered an arcade classic. And it has inspired many other similar types of games on all kinds of systems. But enough said about that, let's dive into the ST version. And this game is 2 single-sided discs. And a really nice looking title screen, and we do get some sampled music. I do remember this from back in the day, and I remember being very excited about getting this one. And I think it was one of the earliest games I got for my ST. And then being pretty disappointed with it. And I don't really exactly remember why. Maybe because the game ran like pants or something. I'm not entirely sure. But at least the graphics were really nice as I remember them. But anyway, let's press fire, I think, to start the game, maybe. Oh, there we go. I'm not sure what button I pressed, but it finally worked. Let's go and grab some treasure. And we are playing as the warrior, the tanky dude. And we've got nasty ghosts that are thirsting for our blood. And yeah, the graphics do look rather nice, don't they? Pretty faithful to the arcade. But already we can see we have some performance issue. When the game scrolls and I change direction, it's really rather choppy. Yeah, I think my problem with this game was the performance. But it does look very nice. And I think it's going to get worse when there's more enemies on screen because there's a lot of enemies in this game. Like, lots and lots. And I remember being very excited about this because I had played the Spectrum version and that version was really good. Let's run away a bit. I think it's a good plan, right? Oh, they don't follow? Okay. Yeah. Scrolling is really choppy. Pretty sure I was pretty disappointed about that. Yeah, let's go murder these monster spawners, because that's going to make my life a whole lot easier. And just like the arcade, we have food that we can eat too. Oh my god, what the hell? Why did these guys show up? I thought I had to... Maybe that's a trap. Maybe it's the same with the arcade, I can't quite remember. I've never really played the arcade version much, but I did play the Spectrum version with friends, and man, that was so much fun. And a really decent conversion given that it was running on a poor Specky. And I remember that version running better than this one. Let's see if we can grab some more stuff here. Another key, and oh my god, let's not hang around. Let's just leave. I don't think the frame rate can handle this. Let's go to... Yeah, there's a couple of different exits on the first stage. I think there's 3 of them. So you can go directly to higher stages if you want to. But let's keep this simple, shall we? Oh god, yeah, there's quite a few ghosts, right? And the performance here is really taking a nosedive, my god. Oh, look at this. Oh, the scrolling. Oh, yeah, it's a bit painful. Let's open the door and unleash the flood. Oh god, yeah, this is really quite painful, I must admit. But let's keep on trying not to kill the frame rate completely. I think it's going to get a lot better once we've killed about 400 of these ghosts. Yeah, I can feel the FPS returning. Yeah, this is getting a lot more manageable now. Yeah, this is not great. Definitely the frame rate was the issue for me. At least the spawners aren't as active as they were in the arcade, because they will puke out about 5 million ghosts a second. Can we shoot the... we can't shoot the treasures, but we can shoot the food, just like in the arcade. And I remember there being samples in the ST version, but maybe I'm misremembering. Yeah, maybe I'm misremembering that. There's some more food. Let's go and grab that. Have a snack. Have some dungeon floor chicken. Yummy, yummy. It's the mold that makes it extra tasty. Just like the Dungeon Master floor apples. Okay, that was pretty simple. Let's go to stage 3. I think that was a sample though. The sound it makes when I exit, right? Maybe we should try and shoot some food or something. Maybe we get a sample then. Yeah, sampled voice. But of course what I'm talking about here. Oh god, there's quite a few spawners. Here's a potion that I believe we can use by pressing, I don't know, space maybe? I don't remember. I forgot to check the manual really. Let's shoot the potion. Because I'm kind of curious to see if there's a voice telling me that I'm an idiot. Nope. Maybe it's Gauntlet 2 that has samples, but I didn't really play Gauntlet 2 on the ST. But it is supposed to be a lot better. But at least the graphics are really nice looking. Quite faithful. If a bit brighter than the arcade. Not quite as atmospheric. Because the graphics in the arcade is, yeah, they do look rather nice for the time. And I mean, there's been about 5 million Gauntlet clones over the years, and even recent Gauntlet releases. I also remember getting Gauntlet. I don't remember what part for the links. Let's take this exit, and playing that and not being terribly impressed by it. It was nice. It ran absolutely fine. Much better than this version, of course. But yeah. Gauntlet was cool when it was released, I suppose, and especially in multiplayer, but single player, it's never been a favorite of mine. It does get a little bit repetitive. And here I think we have these, what are they called? Berserk dudes. We can go hand to hand with these guys. As opposed to the ghost, if you touch them, I think you will immediately take damage, but the barbarians or berserkers or whatever they're called, you can actually... yeah, fight them melee style and not take damage unless you're a bit unlucky. It's a bit random, I think. And we can, of course, fire diagonally. Unfortunately, the monsters can do the same. So we will run into monsters that will happily shoot you fire stuff diagonally in your face. Performance has taken a bit of a nosedive again. And I gotta say that this version is definitely easier than the arcade. The arcade is quite tricky and it's quite happy to spawn about 5 million ghosts in your face from stage 1 and forward. As you can see, I'm doing decently well here. Not taking huge amounts of damage, which is always nice. Oh god, don't surround me, you scum. Let's just back away a little bit. Okay, we have an exit. Come here. You can't figure out that corner, sir? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh well, never mind. Level 5, here I come. And I believe there was no Amiga version initially, for whatever reason. Not sure why. But I think it has been ported, the SD version has been ported, or maybe I'm misremembering actually. Well, maybe I'm mistaken about that. I'm not entirely sure. I just remembered as there not being an Amiga version. Yeah, the scrolling is really, really choppy. Let's just get out of here. Oh yes, here we have the wizards. Fun fellas that can go invisible. Pain in the arse, that's what they are. Oh, go away, you robed nuisance. Oops, sorry, I murdered that potion. And I wonder how I use potions. It might be a key that I've already assigned to something else. So, yeah, like help insert or something like that. The wonderful wizard of Gauntlet 1. Another exit. Yeah, let's just leave. And I don't know if you can do 4-player in the SD version simultaneously. I think you could, but oh god, that's death. Let's not talk to him. Let's leave. Yeah, I think you could do simultaneous 4-player on the SD, but I'm not sure what you needed to make that happen. If you needed to get like an adapter, I think you did, or maybe you could use the keyboard, but I somehow doubt it. Yeah, here's death. Oh, what the hell? Why am I going? What? How did I go through the wall there? What the absolute balls? How did that happen? I don't think that's supposed to happen. Let's try that again. No? Did he face me through the wall? No, I don't think so. I don't think that was supposed to have happened. That was annoying. It seems like we can only have one axe in the air at the same time. That's a bit of a pain in the butt, really. I think you can have more in the arcade version. And here's death number 2. Oh, please, just leave me be. I have an appointment with stage 8, so could you not maybe mess with me? Bye! Run away! Oh, my poor aching frame rate. Oh, dear God, the pain. And can't the wizard's fire projectiles at you? I seem to remember that being a thing. Maybe I'm just, misremembering, don't really know. And I don't think I played the SD version that much, to be honest. Because I did find the frame rate to be a pain in the butt. I wanted to get hold of Gauntlet 2, but that never happened for whatever reason. It's supposed to be a lot better. Everyone keeps telling me. Oh my god, the frame rate just face planted into oblivion. Look at my extensive potion collection here. I'm going to sell it on eBay because I don't know how to use them. I'm sorry about that. I forgot about the checking out the manual. I think it is available on Atari Mania. Would you stop rubbing my back the wrong way, and could you go away too? That would be absolutely splendid. Yeah, we're doing pretty good here. It's pretty easy getting somewhere. Level 8 already. Oh goodness, the flickering wizards of Oz. At least your reward for murdering the enemies is that your FPS gets better, so that's kind of good, I suppose. Oh, let's just open this. Oh my, maybe that was a bad idea. Oh well, never mind. Would you stop doing that? Could I please destroy the spawners here? Okay, I went up in smoke. Well, never mind. I think we are done. It is nice looking for sure, this version, but it doesn't play particularly well. And yeah, I wasn't too keen on that back in the day either. So let's just check out a review. I could only find one. Ooh, nice raster thing there. I don't remember that. SD users Bob Chappell was really excited about the game, and he gave it an overall of 10 out of 10, which is maybe a little bit too kind, I feel. And he wrote, "Most of the time the screen is teeming with colourful, sharp and detailed life. Unfortunately, there is a price to be paid for such abundance of animation. There is a slight slowing down of your character's movement when the monsters start arriving in the hundreds. But the game is never less than sensational. Good use of sound effects complement the amazing graphics. The graphics, action and gameplay in Gauntlet will take your breath away." And he also wrote, Gauntlet lays down an unbeatable challenge. Forget all other versions and accept no substitutes. This is the one to go for. And yeah, I suppose this was 87 early days and many games weren't that well optimized. And it is a pretty faithful conversion of the arcade. But still, the slowdown is rather painful and not something that you can just ignore. Unfortunately, at least that's how I would have felt about it back in the day. So with that, I'm just going to say thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and as always, hope to catch you next time. Cheers!